The Vorketh vessel had been dormant for 347 years, entombed in Antarctic ice like a prehistoric insect in amber. Humanity had discovered it 15 years ago, but every attempt to investigate had failed. The ship's hull was impenetrable, its systems dormant, its secrets locked away behind layers of frozen water and alien technology that confounded the world's best engineers. Until they sent Jake Morrison. Jake wasn't a theoretical physicist or a government-trained specialist. He was a 42-year-old mechanic from Detroit who'd spent his life fixing old engines and broken machines. When the United Nations called, he almost hung up. But something in him, the same stubborn refusal to accept that something couldn't work, made him listen. Now he stood in the ice cavern they'd carved beneath the frozen ship, touching its hull with a calloused hand. The metal was cold, smooth, and somehow alive. He could feel vibrations beneath his fingertips, a heartbeat of power, minimal but present. Whatever had frozen this ship hadn't killed it. It had just put it to sleep. "The reactor's still running," he said into his headset. "On minimal power. That's why your scans couldn't penetrate it. The ship's actively dampening external readings." The voice of Dr. Chun crackled back from the surface command center. "How is that possible?" "Thermal imaging shows the interior is below freezing." "Because something wants to stay hidden," Jake muttered. He'd spent his entire life learning how machines thought, how they protected themselves. This ship was doing the same thing. It was surviving. Jake had always believed that any machine, no matter how alien, operated on basic principles. Power, control, protection, purpose. He approached the hull's control panel, if you could call the seamless section of luminescent symbols that a panel, and did what he always did with broken machines. He knocked on it. The response was immediate. The entire ship convulsed. Alarms shrieked through the cavern as ice cracked and fell around him. Jake scrambled backward as the ship's surface began to glow with bioluminescent patterns. The dampening field collapsed. Suddenly, every thermal scanner on Earth lit up at once, screaming warnings of a massive power surge. "Morrison, what did you do?" Dr. Chin's voice was sharp with panic. "Nothing. Jake watched as panels along the hull began to slide open, revealing corridors of impossible geometry and light. "I think I woke it up. Get out of there." But Jake didn't move. Something was happening. The ship's interior was warming, not dangerously, but deliberately, as if it was breathing for the first time in centuries. And then he heard it, a sound that wasn't quite mechanical, wasn't quite organic. Communication. Intent. A holographic figure materialized before him, translucent and shimmering. It resembled nothing so much as a crystalline angel, with edges that caught light in ways that shouldn't be possible. Its voice resonated directly in Jake's mind. "Repairer, you touched our vessel with hands of creation, not destruction. You awoke us not with weapons, but with understanding." Jake's breath caught. "You are alive? In here, dormant. Our ship was damaged in the Crystalline Wars 347 of your years ago. We chose stasis rather than perish in this frozen void. We sealed ourselves away, expecting none of this world's kind would have the wisdom to approach our vessel with anything but greed or fear. But I just hit it," Jake said stupidly. "Precisely. You did not analyze its defenses. You did not attempt to breach its secrets. You touched it as you would touch a troubled thing in need of help. That is not the action of a species bent on conquest." Around Jake, the hologram expanded, showing images of the Vorketh, beings of pure crystalline structure, beautiful and fragile. Their ship had been a sanctuary, and the ice had been a lifeline, preserving them through millennia while their homeworld fell to war. "Our species is nearly extinct," the Vorketh continued. "We have drifted and we have survived, but we did not know if the universe remained hostile. You have shown us otherwise." Jake thought of all the times he'd been told a machine was beyond repair, that it needed to be scrapped or replaced. He'd proven them wrong every single time by simply trying to understand what it needed. "We can help each other," he said quietly. "My people, your people. We both know how to survive impossible odds." The crystalline figure seemed to brighten. "Yes, repair. This is why you were sent. Not as a warrior or a scientist, but as one who understands that broken things can be fixed, that the universe itself prefers repair to ruin. As Jake walked deeper into the ship, his footsteps echoing through chambers of ice and light, he smiled. Some machines just needed the right person to show them they were worth saving.